Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm coming to you with a bit of a different video this evening. I thought, in light that it's Rimo this month, and for those of you who are not aware of what that is, it's International Correspondence Writing Month. So, the whole idea behind that is that you write a letter or a note card and send a piece of mail each day for the month of February. Now, while this isn't about fountain pens exactly, it is about using your pens and to write those letters and notes. And we will be incorporating some fountain pen ink in it as well. So, but every now and then I get the urge to get a little bit creative and paint. And I am in no way, shape, or form an artist. Hand on heart, I can say that I cannot draw. I do try, but I just cannot draw. And so if someone gave me, you know, told me to draw a bunch of grapes, mine wouldn't look like grapes at all. That's where abstract is my friend. And for those of you who are abstract artists, I'm not taking away from your talent or skill that you have. It's just simply I just find this the easiest way to sort of do something a little bit creative that's within my bandwidth, shall we say. So I've got some different acrylic paints here. So this one is teal green, but it's nowhere near like a teal. I've got this one which is light green and it's almost like a fluoro green. And then I've got this one that is magenta. Now, these are just from my local cheap shop. Like we call them in Australia, we call them $2 stores or or the reject shop. And I guess I'm trying to think of something similar. So in America, you have like Dollar Tree and Dollar General. It's a little bit like those stores if you've got one of those nearby. And they sell, you know, discounted products. And ours actually has a little bit of acrylic paint too. So I don't think they're particularly good quality, but for what I'm doing, you don't really need it to be either. And like this is actually something just fun you can do. That's not going to cost you a great deal of money, but if you feel like getting a little bit arty and getting your hands messy, this is a really good way to do that. And I've just realised I need a cloth or some paper towel, and I don't know where I've put that. Hang on a tick. Okay, still here. Just get a little bit. I thought I was completely and utterly organised, and it turns out I'm not. Okay, sorry about that. So, anyway, this is a very, very simple project that you can do yourself. You do not need any artistic ability to do it. And I did a little bit of this yesterday, and I thought, oh, I wonder if someone else would like to do this with me. So you can make a cuppa and watch, or you could pull out some supplies and, do it along with me. It's entirely up to you. So we'll start with, I thought my whole idea is we'll start with this, the deepest green first, then come in with a bit of this, and then have a bit of this. And then I've got this little pot of gold paste that I reckon I've had for about 10 years. And we use a little bit of that at the end. So if you've got something like that, you can incorporate that as well. So let's get started. Um, And like as I said, I have no artistic ability whatsoever. Um, I wish I did, but I don't. So I do, or all I did yesterday, was I just did this and sort of went across like that, and then I went up and down like that. So it's, and then we sort of, you know, make an envelope out of it. So and it's like super simple to do. You do get a bit messy, so be prepared for that. Some people don't like getting their hands messy, and that's fine. Maybe you go get yourself a pair of like gloves or something if you want to have a go at this. So I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. By the end of like last night, you should have seen my hands. There was just stuff everywhere on them. Okay. So and you just kind of like, I don't know, smudge it around a bit, There's and put it wherever. Like there's no hard or fast rules or anything like that. Um, I'll show you the ones at the end too that I made up like last night when I was fiddling around. And yeah, you can see the other ones I did. Okay, so that's the first part. We may need to come in with a little bit more of that yet. We'll just wait and see. So same finger, just keep going and try and fill in some of these white bits now. And for proper artists out there, you may be cringing looking at this and just going, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Hopefully, I'm not giving you heart palpitations or anything and you're not too put off by this. As I said, no artistic ability, but just like to have a bit of fun. And let me know in the comments below who's been doing NaNoWriMo this month. I mean, there's no hard and fast rules. You don't have to send a letter or a note in the mail every day. That's actually a really good way of connecting with people. Maybe if you haven't spoken to them for a while or seen them, it's just a nice way of letting people know that you're thinking about them. Now, as I'm saying this, it's okay to overlap colours too, if you like. As I said, we may have to come in with some more of the darker green yet. We'll just wait and see. Still same finger I'm using. I just use one finger for this. These are the paints that my daughter uses. Like, or my son even for that matter. We all use these. We haven't got that many. We've got like a navy, like a dark green that I've got on here, the lime green, which is almost like a neon green. And we've got, what else have we got? We've got white. That's like all we've got. But it does the job. And as I said, you don't have to have these colours. You can have whatever colours you like, as long as they're just not the same. Or you may choose to have like more of a similar sort of colour palette and they blend in a little bit better, whereas this is probably a little bit bolder. Um, we'll just see. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but that's the fun about it too. You don't quite know. It may look amazing. It may look like rubbish. Can't really tell. But it's, as I said, I had a lot of fun doing this last night. So, and I've got pink everywhere now. So I'm just thinking we may come in with a little bit more of that darker green. Oops, I might just put that on the plastic just in case it. Put a bit there. Just put a little bit more of that darker colour down. Because when we come in with the gold, um, it it looks really nice. If it's kind of you've got the hint of the colours coming through behind it. You'll see what I mean as we go along. What else? Maybe a bit more there, more there. We're just trying to fill in some of those white spots. I mean, you don't even have to do three colours. You could do 5 or 7 if you want. Like it really. It's your piece of artwork. You do what you like. Sorry, I'm really rambling here, aren't I? And I don't even really I don't have to wait too long for the the colours to sort of dry a bit. So that's looking. You're probably thinking that looks like a mess, Jane, and it does a bit, but that's okay. Just going to wipe my finger off a bit. So while just sort of, yeah, it doesn't take too long to dry. I'm just using normal 160 GSM copy paper. So it's what I usually print my envelopes on. So it's a little bit thicker than your normal sort of 80 GSM. I guess it's a lot thicker. It's double the thickness. But it means they hold up quite well in the mail. So this is 160 GSM paper. And then we're going to be using a A4 sheet of 250 GSM paper to do the note cards. So this is going to be a whole set that we're working on here. So I'm just having a look and seeing if that's kind of drying a little bit. Yep, it appears to be. So now we can come in and do our gold bits. And this is, as I said, this is like a paste and you just rub it on like it, and it just gives it the most wonderful effect. And as I said, very, very abstract. You don't have to do a whole lot with this. I just really liked the effect that it gave. And we're just filling in those like white spots so they're not so prominent. You can even go over some of the colours as well. Like some of this green is like super, super bright. You might want a hint of that to come through, but you may not want all of it to sort of be showing. You can even go through like that. Like honestly, this is a lot of fun. I'll put some down there. Not that we're going to see too much of that down there. So that's kind of what it's looking like. Oh, there's a bit of a white spot there. We don't want that. That's kind of like what it's looking like at this stage. Um, let's put a lid back on that. So this is actually, it's called Gold and it's called Artsy. So the name of the company, as I said, I've had mine for about 10 years, so it's quite old, but it's www.myartsy.com if you're wanting to try and find some of this. So we're just going to wait for that to dry and we might just get started on our note cards. So that's how it's looking so far. Oh, and I've left my envelope template all the way over there too. See, I thought I was prepared for this and I'm so not. So we're going to put that off to the side. Um, we'll just get the envelope template, sorry. So I've got that ready. Okay, now we're coming in with our 250 GSM paper. So I'm just going to move the paints to the side. And where's my plastic bag? Oh, here it is. So you've all seen this method before. I've got some friends who use it to do like their what do you call it, ink swatches. So I know Priscilla uses it. I think the original person who came up with this idea was Clarissa from Snowy Studio on Instagram. And she does the most beautiful sort of ink swatching with a plastic bag like this. So I've just picked two inks here, two ink samples. So this one is Troublemaker Butterfly Dream. This one is Warringle's Pride and Prejudice. I've got my little inky pet here from Pen Friend Dala. So we'll do the Butterfly Dream shimmer first. Um, and just see how that goes. Uh, right. Okay. And all we're doing with this is just putting some down on the paper. Oh, sorry, on the plastic bag like that. And then spreading it on the paper. And that's literally it. Like, and we'll just layer it with some of the Wangle's Pride and Prejudice. So it's and hopefully we get some of the shimmer in this as well. The one I did last night, I actually did on watercolor paper, but didn't add any water to it. That's another option. You could do it on watercolor paper and then add some water to your inky splatters, which would make it look really interesting, I think. But we're not doing that tonight. So it takes a little bit of time and patience, but and like on this paper, it's not particular. It's quite absorbent because it's not like particularly fountain pen friendly. As I said, it's just sort of normal copy paper. It's just a little bit thicker than what your normal one would be. And the paper is absorbing all of it straight away. So I'm not able sort of to move it around too much on the paper. Like when I pick it up, there's not a whole lot back on it. So the anyway, I hope I'm making sense. So it takes a bit of time. We're just going to keep doing this around the page. It's coming up to the weekend here in Australia. It's actually Friday evening. So it's my husband's birthday. Today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, for those of you who celebrate it. Um, so I'm taking my husband away for his birthday tomorrow, which we're both really looking forward to. So that's why I thought I'll do this tonight with you all. And then you can watch it at your leisure whenever you get a chance. This is a really good way. If you've got small amounts left in your ink samples and it's not quite enough for a fill on a pen, this is another way of using up those little bits as well. I really love this Troublemaker Butterfly Dream. I actually bought a whole bottle of it because I loved it so much. And I think it's Katie from A Fountain Pen Awakening. It's one of her favourites as well. I'm really getting to the bottom of my sample. It's getting quite a bit of that purple on there too. There's so many different ways that you can swatch ink. I tend to be quite boring with the way I do mine and just put some down on the paper and do a little bit of a writing sample. Some people get incredibly creative with it though. Karina from Karina Loves to Plan, I like it how she swatches them on all the different papers. I think that's really helpful because inks can look quite different on various sorts of paper. Okay, we're almost to the end of doing the Troublemaker Butterfly Dream inky splats. So I'll just do a little bit more. And then we're going to come in with the Wearing Girls Pride and Prejudice. Okay, that might be enough for that one. I'll just wipe this off. And I've got ink on my little ink pen, which is not good. I have to clean him off very well. This is messy. A good kind of messy though. Okay, so I'm just using my, what do you call it? The ink muddler. Has like a little sort of glass swatching end on it, and on this end it has a glass tip that you can do writing samples with, but I don't tend to use that part of it. I tend to just use the swatching end, like the little flat end. So, and everyone's like ink splats are going to look different too. Sorry, this is it's kind of therapeutic, but I'm also kind of concentrating at the same time. So, and this is a good activity to do while you're waiting for the paint on your other piece of paper to dry. Oh gosh, I've spilled ink everywhere. Let's give that a bit of a moment. Let me know in the comments below. Are you doing anything for Valentine's Day? Is it a holiday that you celebrate? How do you celebrate it? Everyone's different. We don't tend to celebrate it in our family. I mean, I got some cupcakes and things today for the kids. May have had one myself as well. Red velvet cupcakes that had a beautiful, like pink rosette icing on the top. But it's not something we generally celebrate because it's my husband's birthday the next day. So we tend to he does lots of nice things for me throughout the year. And I do the same for him. So then it's not just all sort of about one day, if that makes sense. Okay. Almost there, people, almost there. And we're not I'm trying to not go too heavy handed on this because we want it to dry enough so I can cut it up with you all and make it into note cards. How's that looking? I might just do a bit more up here. It's looking a little bit vacant up here. Might do a bit more there. And might do a bit more down here. Okay. All right, that's it. That's all we're doing for that. Swipe my little bag off. Wipe my ink muddler off. That needs a really good wash now and clean. My poor ink pen has just got stuff everywhere on it. I'm going to have to give it a really good scrub. Hopefully that all comes off. Anyway, so that's that. So we're going to put that to the side and let it dry. But so you can see a little bit of that blue shimmer, hopefully, from the Troublemaker Butterfly Dream. Hopefully you can see a bit of that. It's rather pretty with the magenta color through it as well. So put that to the side. Bring this piece in. So this is our 160 GSM paper that we did our painting on. We could probably add a little bit more gold, but we might just cut this out first with our envelope template and see what it looks like on the envelope, and then we can go back into the envelope and add some more as well if we need to. So I've just got my trusty envelope template. I don't have one of those fancy machines that cuts everything out for me. I tend to do everything by hand. Even my stickers, I make all of those by hand and fussy cut them. So if you ever receive my stickers, know that there is a great deal of love that has gone into them. So just normal pair of scissors, we're going to cut this out. This is how I make all my envelopes. For those of you who are wondering, I cut all of them out by hand. Mm. Mm. So it takes a bit of time, a bit of patience. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not striving for perfection here. We're simply just having a bit of fun. So when we cut it out, this is what it looks like. And you don't have to worry too much about these bits because they get folded in. So let's do that. I have my Tombow mono glue. This is my favorite glue for envelopes or sticking things on envelopes or any crafting actually. It holds up really well to posting letters and keeping everything together. It's almost like a super glue for paper, I guess. So we're going to fold these tabs in here. Fold this bit up, the bottom up. Fold the flap over. And that's what your envelope looks like. So you could even go in and do some stamping on this as well if you wanted. I'm just keeping it fairly simple at the moment, just for the purpose of showing you here. I mean, I love making collages too. That's the other thing. And I love that vintage sort of aesthetic. But every now and then, I just like doing something a little bit bolder, a little bit more colourful. And so this is what um, our envelope is looking like So postage stamps are going to go up here in the corner. I think you might just do a little bit more gold here and maybe across there. So we'll just come back in with our gold paste and just do a little bit more. Yeah, I don't like having too many white spots. So there we go. That's what it looks like. You can then stick your address label on the front. Or if you don't have address labels, you can just simply cut out a piece of cardstock or paper, even brown paper from a brown paper bag, and stick that on the front for your address with some glue. I've got room to put my name and address label there. Might just do a little bit more on the back here. Get rid of some of that green's just a little bit too bright for me, but you get the idea, right? Now, I've actually prepared some ahead of time. So while the inky splatters are still kind of drying a bit, I'll show you those. So that's the one we've just created. And then last night, I created these, and they're all different. So there's this one. I really like how this one turned out. There's this one that's mainly just navy, pink, and gold with a little bit of white. That's the other thing. Oh, we could do some white highlights on that too. I really loved how this one turned out. It was like that dark green and navy and the gold and a bit of that beigey color, and it just came out looking so moody and lovely. I really love that one. And then this one was mainly just blue and white with a little bit of the green in there and some white paint. And then I decided to do like a really bold sort of a dress area in the gold. And I went over this with a white Posco paint pen. So they were the ones I did. But speaking of white, we might just go in here with a little bit of the white paint. So I'll just put these ones on to up there for now. And so just probably do this, maybe a bit here and a bit there and a bit down here. So you just go across like this. Just adds that little bit extra to it and just gives that a little bit of a different look. So you still got your gold coming through there and your pinks and your greens. So that's the envelopes. Now, next we're going to cut out actually, I might have to put these to the side so I can do this. We'll come back to that. Next, we are going to cut up our A4 sheet, or if you're in the US, you might have letter size paper, and we're cutting it into quarters so we can make our note cards. So, that's really, yeah, okay. So when I used the watercolor paper, the back didn't look like that. So maybe I'll have to go back to the watercolor paper. But you could always just back this on some other extra cardstock as well and use that to write on. So we're just going to cut this up now. It's really that simple. So I've got two there. Do another two here. So these ones here measure 10.5 centimeters by 14.8 and a half kind of thing. 14.85, say, centimeters. So these are how they turned out. And if you wanted to get extra fancy, you could come in with a corner punch and do like fancy corners. I just keep mine plain. As I said, you could back this onto some other cardstock or paper and write a note on the back, which is probably what I'll do. And for some of my friends and family, they won't care that this is there and I'll just write on it. So, but this is what you've got then. You're left with a very unique envelope and a very unique inky splatter note card. So I'll bring in the ones that I did on the watercolor paper that look a little bit different. So it's a bit of a creamy paper, it's got texture to it. And as you can see, there was no bleed through from the watercolor paper because I think this is 300 GSM. So it does look a bit different. This looks very white and bright, whereas this is creamy. And I actually think this sort of elevates the look a little bit and makes it look a little bit classy, if you can even call that about an ink splatter. But you get my point. So note cards, unique, and you put some thought into it as well. Envelope that we did here. So, and I just really enjoyed the process of doing all of these. They were fun to do. Um, and yeah, I hope you give it a go. I really do. Now, I had some people say to me in the video before, oh, I don't know enough people to write to for that whole 28 days. And I was thinking about that. And I thought, I have done this on occasions, especially when we lived in the US. And I would just write a little like note card or and put it in an envelope and do things like give it to my postman to say thank you, for delivering our mail. Um, I even gave one to the lady at HEB one day who was checking out our groceries and just gave her a little handwritten note in an envelope just to say thank you for helping us and checking out our groceries. And I think too, it's just a nice way of showing people that you appreciate what they do for you, and so they feel valued. So yeah, so they're things that I've done in the past. You could also just write a beautiful quote on a note card or on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and give it to a perfect stranger who may be looking like they're not having such a great day. And just giving them that little note card might just put a smile on their face and make them feel a little bit different for the rest of the day. You just don't know. The power of kindness can be very, very powerful. So, anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you give this a go and think about ways that you can actually maybe incorporate this into your day to day life and write more notes and letters to people. Okay. Bye, everyone. Take care.